hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, or are prone to infections. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers, including lymphoma, and blood clots have happened. Taking a higher than recommended dose of Xeljanz for RA may increase risk.
Rich chocolate candy, creamy caramel, so delicious.
It takes the hatchlings about 2 days to make it up to the surface.
To have a dream is a blessing. To be able to go after it is a privilege. We are blessed with resources and opportunities that our ancestors literally died for. Working 70 to 100 hours a week, being underfed, malnourished, with no access to medical services. We are the 1%. There is not one thing that we have not been through. Being stolen from Africa, enduring and surviving the Middle Passage, psychological torture, our women being constantly raped and their babies being sold, receiving lashing from whips, forced segregation, and damaging anti-black racism. For those who are still here, still breathing, still fighting, understand that we are our ancestors' wildest dreams.
I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. That dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. That some of you already know that it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. That in the process of working on your dreams, you are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, a lot of pain. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself and say, God, why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my children and my mother. I'm not trying to steal or rob from anybody. Why did this have to happen to me? For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. Their rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass.
Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, godlike feature that only the special among us will ever taste. You know, it's something that truly exists in all of us.
It's very important for you to believe that you are the one. Most people, they raise a family, they earn a living, and then they die. They stop growing, they stop working on themselves, they stop stretching, they stop pushing themselves. That a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation. And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? One is because of fear. The fear of failure. What if things don't work out? And the fear of success. What if they do and I can't handle it? These are not risk takers.
You spend so much time with other people. You spend so much time trying to get people to like you. You know other people more than you know yourself. You studied them. You know about them. You want to hang out like them. You want to be just like them. And you know what? You've invested so much time in them, you don't know who you are. I challenge you to spend time by yourself.
It's necessary that you get the losers out of your life if you want to live your dream. But people who are running toward their dreams, life has a special kind of meaning.
When you become the right person, what you do is you start separating yourself from other people. You begin to have a certain uniqueness. As long as you following other people, as long as you being a copycat, you will never ever be the best copycat in the world, but you will be the best you could be. I'm challenging you to define your value.
That everybody won't see it. That everybody won't join you, that everybody won't have the vision. It's necessary to know that you are an uncommon breed. It's necessary that you align yourself with people and attract people into your business who are hungry, people who are unstoppable and unreasonable, people who are refusing to leave life just as it is and who want more. The people that are living their dream are finding winners to attach themselves to. The people that are living their dreams are the people that know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them.
If you want to to be more successful, if you want to have and do stuff you ain't never done before, number two, I'm asking you to invest in you. To invest in you.
Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. That you don't have to go through life being a victim. And even though you face disappointments, you have to know within yourself that I can do this. Even if no one else sees it for me, I must see it for myself.
This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it. Period.
No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it.
I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities.
And some of you right now, you want to be, you know what I'm saying, you want to go to the next level. I want to counsel, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor. Listen to me, you can't get to that level. You can't get to the level economically where you want to be until you start investing in your mind. You're not reading books. I'm challenging y'all to go to conferences. I dare you to invest time. I dare you to be alone. I dare you to spend an hour getting to know yourself. When you become who you are, when you become the person that you were created to be, designed to be who you were designed to be, when you become an individual, what you do is you take yourself and you start separating yourself from other people. I challenge you to get to a place where people don't like you, it don't even bother you no more. Why? Because you're not concerned with trying to make them happy, because you're trying to blow up. You're trying to get to the next level. I need you to invest in your mind. Invest in your mind. If you still talk about your dream, if you still talk about your goal, but you have not done anything, just take the first step.
That you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again because you came this way. Don't let nobody steal your dream. After we face a rejection and a no, or we have a meeting and no one shows up, or somebody say, you can count on me, and they don't come through. What if we have that kind of attitude? The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win. You can live your dream.
How you doing? How's everything? I can't complain. How you guys feeling? I think about 2 days ago. Cause I was supposed to the same day I landed, the groom transportation, they stopped at 8:30, so I had to stay at a hotel, so I didn't get back until a day later. Yeah, but I'm safe and sound though. Yes ma'am, yes ma'am. Oh, okay, I appreciate that, ma'am. I always good seeing you. So how did I get here? Basically from 2017, when I first was blessed with the idea and the ambition and the drive to even have a dream and to select a platform in which I chose to display it. It was like literally on the side of the road, and you know, for me just putting myself out there in the ways that I thought would benefit me. From that point on is what leads me to, you know, me being here at this current moment. My whole intent and approach for this film is to just show my growth, and not just within from the couple of months of this year, but even to the things I was, you know, beginning to learn last year. And that's just to be meticulous with your goal and your objective, and you know, to just be 100% sure that this is what you want. Because with the previous films that I've done and the previous work that I've dedicated to, it was always just, you know, me saying that, okay, this is a goal or a plan of mine and I'm just gonna work hard for it. I never really much displayed on how I would get there. And I think that, you know, brought a lot of confusion and a lot of uncertainty. And later down the road, you know, I had those same feelings of uncertainties and just not being 100% sure of, you know, where I'm going with this or how I'm gonna get there. So with this film, I plan to show the growth in my mindset and how I'm just willing to dig deep into the crevice of what's needed, why it's happening, and what's it gonna take to get there. What I want the viewers and whoever's watching this film to grasp, and I want their concept to be, is that history always repeats itself. And if you don't know where you're from, you don't know where you're gonna go. And it's so important to be cognizant of things that happen before you and why they happen, because, you know, 8 times out of 10, you know, you're going through something that they already been through, or you're going for something that they already went after. Like, there's always someone out there, even if you know them or not, that have the same goals and aspirations or have the same trials and tribulations. So what I want to basically put out there for the viewers is that understanding why things happening and, you know, how it got there, and just have it coinciding with what you're going through and what you're gonna go after. It always, you know, comes back around in full circle. So, and that's something that I learned in the process of making this film. So that's what, the same thing, you know, I've been learning, the same thing I want to teach to the people around me. I never realized how important Black history was. I'll be honest, like, I didn't really understand the significance until earlier this year. I've always been proud to be Black, but I've never been more prouder than I am today, just because I've been studying a lot of, you know, our history and everything that we've been through just as a people. And when you realize, because Black people are the most significant, triumphant, resilient people that there will ever be. And if you find yourself having those traits, you got to understand, and for me, what I understood about myself with having those traits is that a large part of that is because I'm a Black man. And my ancestors and everything, you know, since the 1600s, when we were sold kidnapped, beat, tortured, taken away from home, taken away from each other, is that from the 1600s all the way until we were supposedly set free, that we were always a target. Like, we were always beaten, robbed, killed, hung, raped, tortured. All of those things for 400 years have been ensuing. And even to today's day and age, maybe not to the same point as it was back then, but it still occurs. And no matter what, you know, and this goes back to our national anthem song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, is that the dark past has taught us a lot, but the present, you know, gives us hope. And because I've been fortunate enough to even want to get this mentality to look at what we've been through and how far we've come and how much further we can go, it just inspires me, and it makes me feel proud to be a black man. So, you know, a lot in this film is gonna have to do with, you know, me looking back into our black history and me embracing it and me wanting to share it amongst other people and just teach my young brothers and sisters and other black folks that, you know, we have a significant part in American history. And, you know, once we embrace that and once we fully grab that concept, then you develop strength, you develop motivation, you develop courage, because a lot of our ancestors, they didn't have the opportunity that we have today. Like, for me to be able to sit here and do a film, or for me to be able to go after my dream, is something that a lot of my ancestors weren't able to do. Why? Because they were slaves. They were, you know, they had masters that they, you know, were living under, and they didn't have their own life. And there was laws where, you know, black people weren't able to have, you know, their own rights. And, you know, to be where we are now, it's a blessing. So that's something I would love to be able to inspire people by. It's just, being black is beautiful, and it'll get you far. Just embrace it, confide in it, and then go after what you dream. That's what our ancestors would have wanted. That's what they fought for. That's what they died for stuff like this.
The biggest problems in the South is brutality practiced by law enforcement officers, such as an incident that occurred to me about a year and a half ago in Plaquemine, Louisiana. It was there that I had been in jail at the time of the March on Washington and was unable to be in Washington at that historic march. After getting out of jail in Plaquemine, Louisiana, I was confronted with a lynch mob, a most unusual lynch mob. It was composed of state law enforcement officers, state troopers, who were riding horseback, roaming through the streets, kicking open doors in the Negro community and screaming for my blood, screaming, "Come on out." They tear-gassed a church in which 200 or 300 people were congregated. I was in that church. We were forced out of the church by tear gas into a parsonage, the minister's home next door, and from there we were forced into the yard by tear gas, and from the yard back into the parsonage and back into the yard. If any Negro was seen in the street during that night in Plaquemine, Louisiana, he was run down by state troopers, beaten with a club, and stuck with an electric cattle prod, told to get up and run down again, and told that they would let him go if he would tell them where I was. We finally managed to escape into a funeral home a half block away by crawling through tall grass. We got to the funeral home, but there was no respite there. The state troopers soon kicked open the back door of that place, still screaming for my blood. Finally, I managed to escape, but only after using 2 hearses, one as a decoy and the other with me in it. The decoy was used to pull state troopers away from the roadblocks that they had set up, and it worked. I was then put in the back of the second hearse and sped toward New Orleans, where we held a press conference and described what had transpired and announced that I was returning to Plaquemine the next day and if the state troopers had a warrant for my arrest, I would be there to be served with it and to find out what the charges were. The next day, we discovered that they had no warrant at all. That is James Farmer, a gentleman who should know about racial relations in the southern United States.
What do you do when your battle chooses you? What do you do when something shows up on your doorstep that you did not directly cause, choose, or definitely anticipate?
Life is not always easy. In fact, some of you today, you're here and you're going through the toughest season of your life. There will be seasons where we will suffer. There will be seasons of real pain. And the question is, how will you respond in those moments?
Life is hard sometimes. Easy, it's not an option. But it's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth giving yourself a chance. It's worth mustering yourself up, standing up inside yourself. It's worth fighting relentlessly, never giving up. It's worth it. You can do it. You can do it.
There's problems that we go through that cause stress, worry, anxiety, and fear, but you might be in the battle of your life. I want to encourage you. It's not about what's happening around you. It's always about what's happening inside of you.
Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean you have to be afraid. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean you have to be discouraged. Just because you have fear doesn't mean fear has to have you.
The sentence out of your mouth is a story that you are putting out. I'm not gonna make it. I quit. Let's get a divorce. Business is never coming back. We've lost too many people. I've made too many mistakes. I'm a failure. Nobody can help me. I've done too many bad things. I don't know what's coming out of your mouth, but it's a death sentence. And as you continue to confess it and as you continue to declare it, well, don't be surprised when it becomes true in your life. We have to make sure that whenever I feel, when I think a death sentence, I must speak a life sentence. Oh, I'm feeling the sentence of death. I'm feeling the thoughts of anxiety. I'm feeling the thoughts that I'm done. I feel like I've been used and it hurts and it's difficult, but when that happens, I start speaking out a life sentence. No, I'm just gonna keep showing up. No, I'm gonna get back up. The righteous man, he falls 7 times, but he gets back up.
Never give up. Never give in. Because skill can't get you past certain things. Quickness, agility can't get you. You gotta have mental toughness. Pain ain't permanent. Your pain ain't permanent. You can get through this. You bigger than your pain. You better than that.
Come on, you need to remember, this is not the first time you cried. This is not the first time you were short of breath. This is not the first time you didn't see a way clear. This is not the first time you were hurt. This is not the first time your heart was broken. This is not the first time you didn't have enough money. This is not the first diagnosis that came up from behind.
Say, I'm gonna live to tell the story. This too shall pass. I will remain. I'm not gonna quit. Every one of my burdens, there's a blessing on the inside of it. If you don't quit, you will win, baby.
You gonna work through this. You gonna get up. You gonna get dressed. You gonna get out. And you gonna do what you've been called to do. You gonna be what you called to be. And you gonna prove to everybody that tried to break you, everybody that tried to stop you, everybody that tried to kill your dream, you gonna prove all of them wrong.
Just keep coming back. If you got nothing left to give, just show back up. Half of life, man, is just showing up.
And I'm telling you right now, don't give up. I'm telling you right now, don't give in.
Multiplies hate. Come on. Adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So let us continue. People of God, let us continue to believe for a country that is blessed by God, a country that's blessed by God, listen, because we seek to honor God.
Guilty those days. My mama was saying eggs and butter, that was her part of it. The neighborhood that we lived in was the Buckeye oil mill. Black and white worked there. Of course, black works in the home as cook, maid, babysitter. The men would do the yard. They worked in the stores, the grocery stores, as porters, bus boys, or what have you.
Why must I continue to dream? Because all of the things that comes with it, like you can develop strength, belief, faith, courage. There's a lot of things that comes from having a dream and sticking to it. And I think that's why it's so important that no matter what I'm going through, to always fight through it, to not run from it, but to attack it, to always find ways to get to what my dream is. Because it's like, yeah, I'm doing it for myself, but I have to do it for my sons too. I want to do something that they can look at and be inspired by, and have them be cognizant of the fact that you can have your own, like you can, build and develop your own situation. Like you can do that. Like there were so many people who came before me that literally died for their right to dream, or died for their right to live free. Like they've been through things that I could never imagine, things I probably would never ever experience in my life. But they didn't complain. They just kept pushing. So who am I to quit at the glance of turmoil or turbulence? I got to keep going too, just as they did. I made a lot of mistakes in my past. I've misled. I wasn't as loyal as I could have been at times. I wasn't as truthful as I should have been. I wasn't as dependable as I could have been. Like, even though it's only been 2 months, I'm learning so much about myself this year. I'm learning that I need help. Like I deal with a lot of anger, a lot of rage, a lot of frustration. I'm confused. Like I'm not this esoteric kind of person where I got it completely figured out, or like I'm perfect, or I know the answers to everything, because I don't. And something that I've been doing, or something I haven't been doing, was addressing my issues. Like I said, like I got a lot of anger, a lot of rage, and I tend to take it out on those who love me the most, when all I should really be doing is just communicating more, just saying how I feel, starting there, and just being real about it, instead of just making it come across as if like I got it figured out, when I really don't. Like I vow to seek help, to seek resources and treatment to help me deal with this anger, to help me deal with all of this pain that I have. I know a lot of it stems from me not being able to see my kids on a daily basis. Like I'm so far away from them. And now that I moved, I'm even further away from my family that I was with. Like I'm away from my mom. I'm away from my brothers, my sisters, my friends. I really feel like my sole purpose is to lead, to guide, to inspire, to uplift. I really feel like that's my purpose from God. But I can't do those things if I'm not taking care of myself. Like, I have to lead by example. In order to do that, I have to address my own issues. And that's what I plan on doing this year. And I will. When I look at the stats for my projects, for my music, it's depressing to look at. Like, that the views are not where I want them to be, where I need them to be in order to continue to establish myself in what I'm doing. It's not nearly where it needs to be. And it's just it's frustrating. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it sets me back a lot of times, because when I sit back and I'm in the studio or I'm out filming and I'm editing, it's like I always feel in my heart that it's the last project that I do is always the best project. I always feel like that, like, because I put everything into it. None of it is ever fabricated. It's always authentic. I make sure I study while doing it, and to no avail. Like, my last project that I put out, DreamHouses, The Message, only got 59 views. Excuse me. The trailer for this movie that you guys this film that you guys are currently watching, only got 55 views. My last 5 interviews that I did for Dream Talks, 59 views, 72 views, 61 views, 32 views, 22 views. It's like I said, man, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. A lot of stuff that I put out years ago, barely cracking 100. I don't know. This is, oh man. Oh man. I'm telling you, stuff like this will be enough for someone to just quit and just give up. Because I know that it needs to be in a certain place in order for me to, like, really establish who I am and what I do. It's just not there right now. I've come to learn that it's okay to have expectations. Like, it's okay to have like big hopes, because if you don't, then you won't really receive much if you don't expect much. But in terms of support, I hold the people in my corner or my loved ones to a higher standard than I would a random person. Well, for one, because we're family, like, love is love. And two, it's like, if anyone sees me putting in the work or, like, really committing to the grind, it's the people around me, the people that I love. So when I look at these numbers, I get upset. I'm bothered by it, because you just listening to my song one time is not gonna do it. You only watching a few minutes of my film is not gonna do it. Like, I know I want my family to support me unconditionally. I want it to be genuine. I want it to be just ongoing support. That's just what I want. Maybe it won't be like that, because 9 times out of 10, a random person is gonna support you more than your family. 9 times out of 10. And I know, like, for me, like, for anyone who I know that does music or anything else like that, I make sure that I purchase whatever they're selling. I make sure to watch whatever video they got. I subscribe. I leave comments to enhance the engagements and activity and stuff like that. Like, I make sure to do all of the necessary things to help their brand, to help just shine a light on what they're doing. Like, I share it a million times. Like, I got this rule: don't just play their music, buy their music. Like, I make sure for all of my brothers, I buy their music. It's only 99 cents. And if it's a whole project, then it'll be $5.99. I just do to people what I want done for me in the end. And I feel like it's never reciprocated. So it's bothersome. Like, I don't want to force feed anything. Like, I don't want to just stuff what I'm doing and just making someone support it. Like, in order for me to be successful in any way with this route that I'm taking, it's just gonna require so much more from the people that I love. And I don't mean to come across as ungrateful, but that's just the reality of it. And it sucks that, like, I'm going on 3 years in with this, and I guess I just haven't been receiving that support that I've been expecting. And I'm not gonna start expecting low. Like, I'm gonna keep my expectations high, but now I just gotta be more firm about it. Like, this is me speaking on it now, is me getting the people to understand what I'm going to need in order to be successful. And if this doesn't do it, then I just have to find another way to get through.
Things that white citizens possess, all of their rights.
We just believed in Mr. Randolph. Nobody couldn't tell us, me especially, against Mr. A. Phillip. Nobody.
And no force under the sun can stem and block and stop this civil rights revolution which is now underway.
It's an urge. Truth be told, every champion has felt it. Every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit. Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You may have to take courses and classes. You might not read as fast. You might not move as quick. You might not have as much. But don't you quit. Don't you quit. Don't you quit. You do make a difference. You do make a difference. You do make a difference. As weak as you are, as tired as you are, as many mistakes as you made, you do make a difference. There is something they would lose if you were not there. There was something that they would miss if you were not there. You do make a difference. You do make a difference. You do make a difference. Keep hopping. It's for people that are trying to hop their way back home. Come hell or high water, doing the best they can with what they got. That's who we are, doing the best we can with what we got. And we may not break any ribbons and we may not get any trophies, but if we can learn how to hang on in there, we'll be all right. I will not lie to you, I feel like going on. But I have seen days I did not want to get out of bed, didn't want to put on clothes, and didn't even feel like brushing my teeth. I've seen days so dark that I just wanted to keep driving, and I didn't even care where I ended up or what you called me. They came, and they passed, and they came to pass. I kept the faith. I kept it. I lost a lot of stuff. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of strength. I lost a lot of courage. I lost a lot of time. I lost a lot of money, but I kept down on my knees. I was still believing. Broke, I was believing. Lonely, I was believing. Betrayed, I was. If you lose a job, keep the faith. If you lose a spouse, keep the faith. If you bury your child, keep the faith. If you have to downsize, keep the faith. If you have to move in with your mama, keep the faith. If you're at your wit's end, keep the faith. If you have to catch the bus, keep the faith. If you have to thumb, keep the faith. If you get sick, keep the faith. If you lose your kidneys, keep the faith. If you got heart trouble, keep the faith. You might not get a new heart, but you gotta keep your faith.
Watch where you're going now.
One thing that I absolutely had to learn was the strength of forgiveness. Like there is power in being able to forgive someone. And when I speak on that, I feel as if, like I mentioned before, that the lack of support that I got from my family, it was something that it truly hurt. Like the lack of support that I got from friends, it truly hurt. But I had to understand that they were only doing what they felt was right. Like they felt like, you know, that they were supporting me, and in the most honest case that, you know, they were, regardless of the quantity of times that they applied that support, it was still support at the end of the day. Now, whether I would like it to be more, then that's on me to be, you know, forefront about it and to speak on it more. Like for me to reach out and to, you know, ask or to display the significance of the magnitude of support that is required. So I had to come to grips with that and understand that that's not something to be angry at them about or be mad at them about. I was always under the impression that if you forgave someone and let it go, then that's like a sign of weakness. That's just a sign of you just letting things go. And I don't know, I thought that was being weak, because the way that I adapted mentally was that retaliation was number one. Like, anything that's done to you, you have to do it to them. But in actuality, you forgiving someone for any pain they might have caused you, it does way more than any retaliation that you could have done. Because not only do you not carry hate or animosity, you prosper. Like, you, on a spiritual standpoint, you're able to just be at peace. Like, you're not in a mind state where like you're dwelling or you're just frustrated all of the time. Like, you're literally prospering into a new space. And I guess that's something I had to do. Like, I had to, like, all my life I've been up and down about my biological father not being there. I've been up and down about the way I felt I've been treated by my kid's mother. I've been up and down about how just the way I guess I've been treated as a person. But with this peace that I have now, and with this peace that I'm maintaining, it came through forgiveness. Like, I had to forgive, and I had to let the hate go. Hate, hate comes with an expiration date. Like, God rest his soul of Kobe Bryant, like one of my favorite players ever, my idol. He is someone who's been, hated throughout his whole career in his life. And then unfortunately, when he passed away, he received love from everywhere. The same people that was saying that they hate him and all of this, it instantly turned into love. Now, whether that love been there all along, it got revealed. Unfortunately, it had to come in, his tragic passing. But it just goes to show you that love will always outlast hate. And that's not something that I choose to be motivated by anymore. Like, I will always say, watch me turn, this hate into motivation, and then watch what I do because they said they hate it. But what are you going to do once they stop hating it? Then what's going to be your motivation? So I had to realize that, hate doesn't last. Hate is not forever. The wicked will pass, like it says in the Bible. Now, any one of, I guess, family members or close friends or anyone who's close to me, they could probably attest to the fact that I, live a secret and personal life. I wouldn't always be open about what I feel, what my ambitions are, what my goals are. I would just disappear and just go do it. And I've been doing that since forever. Since forever I've been doing that. It wasn't until the latter half of 2020 where I slowly began to get away from that bad habit, because that's what it is. It's like, how do you, and I had to look at it from this point, like, how do you say someone is a loved one or someone is, close, your boy, whatever, and then out of nowhere they just disappear to go do something? Now, whether it's to better themselves or not, how do you just disappear and don't say anything? Like, where does that leave that person to think? And I had to think about that while I was isolated, because Proverbs 16, verse 9, it says that the heart of a man plans his own way, but the Lord establishes his steps. I always thought that I could do things my own way. Like, I could just plan it and just do it. But who's to say that, you know, my family couldn't have helped me? Who's to say that my friends couldn't have helped me? It may not have been financially, it may not have been strategically, but, you know, emotionally or spiritually, that help could have taken me a longer way. Instead of feeling like I'm all alone and I gotta do it by myself, that help could have came from another source. So just in the process of me learning and just growing as a man, it's like I don't have to be secretive anymore. I don't. Like, I could be okay and open about what my ambitions and goals are. Because if I'm gonna be in a space where I want someone to dream and to go after what they seek, then I gotta be honest, and I have to be direct about the approach that they should take. And running away from your loved ones or running away from your problems is not the way to do it. If anything, let the people that you love help you get through what is bothering you. And I'm so happy and grateful to be able to sit here today to say that I've understood that lesson, and I'm gradually growing with it.
His focus for the black community was more with corporate America, more on an economic-based revolution.
All we're asking is that the same conscious, deliberate effort which was used for years to exclude Negroes now be used to include Negroes in the mainstream of American life.
We all have things that we're believing for, dreams that we want to accomplish, problems we're hoping will turn around. Maybe it's to see our family restored, to lose some weight, to break an addiction, to start our own business. But sometimes as it goes on, month after month, even year after year, and we don't see anything changing, it's easy to get discouraged and think, it's never gonna happen. This is as good as it gets. I'll just learn to live with it. We all go through disappointments, setbacks, loss. Pain is a part of life. It's easy to get discouraged, even bitter. Think, why is this happening to me? Sometimes we look at pieces in our lives that don't make sense. The key is what we do in our times of pain. Pain will change us. Heartache, loss, disappointments, they don't leave us the same. Every painful time, even though you don't like it, it's developing something in you that can only be developed in the tough times. Eventually, that will pass. You'll get through it, but you will be different. In those tough times, when you're uncomfortable, going through a loss, dealing with an illness, you could easily let it overwhelm you. Now, how the pain changes you is up to you. You can come out bitter, or you can come out better. You can come out defeated, giving up on your dreams, or you can come out with a new passion, a new fire, excited about the new opportunities in front of you. I may not like it, but I'm not a whiner, I'm a warrior. I know I can handle this. Don't complain about the pain. Without the pain, we couldn't reach the fullness of our destinies. Sometimes we bring pain on ourselves. We make poor choices, get in a relationship we know is not good, or maybe get over our head in our spending. Now it's painful. We're having to deal with the consequences. All of us experience pain. My challenge, don't just go through it, grow through it. That difficulty is an opportunity to get stronger, to develop character, to gain new competence. Anybody can give up. Anybody can let it overwhelm you. But you know what that's doing? Wasting your pain. That pain is not there to stop you. It's there to prepare you, to increase you, to develop you. Difficulties are a part of life. Now quit telling yourself you can't take it. You're not weak. You are well able. Eventually the pain will pass. you'll give birth to new strength. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And there will always be forces trying to convince us to settle where we are. Life has a way of pushing our dreams down. They can become buried under discouragement, buried under past mistakes. There are dreams buried under divorce, buried under low self-esteem. It's easy to settle for mediocrity even though we have all this potential buried on the inside. What are you remembering? The hurt, the pain, what didn't work out? Turn it around and remember your dream. Have you allowed any dreams to get buried in you? At one time, you believed you could do something great. You believed you could lead the company in sales. You believed you could break that addiction. And it's been a long time, had some bad breaks, wasn't all your fault. You could easily settle where you are. Nobody would fault you. The enemy would love to deceive you into burying your dream, thinking that it's never going to work out. Don't believe those lies. It's not too late to become all that you were created to be. Every time you remember your dream, you're removing some dirt. You're digging it back out. The true mark of a champion is even though some dirt gets thrown on your dream, instead of letting it get buried, you keep shaking it off. You keep moving forward. You wouldn't be having that opposition if you didn't have something great in you. If your dream wasn't alive and on track, right on schedule to come to pass, you wouldn't have so many things coming against you. That dream is still alive. You may have tried a year ago, 5 years ago, or 40 years ago. Didn't work out. Nobody was there to help you. Go back and try again. This is your time. This is your moment. Your destiny is calling out to you. Can I tell you, your dream is not dead. It's just not in season. Your time is coming. Promotion is coming. Good breaks are coming. Promises you've been standing on. Dreams you've been praying about. Lack is not your destiny. Constantly struggling, barely getting by is not the end of your story. These light afflictions are for a moment. The adversity is temporary. The glory is eternal. There are some dreams shut up in you. Like fire, you're going to feel your destiny calling out. May not have happened the first time. The loan didn't go through. You didn't get chosen for the part. The medical report wasn't good. That's okay. It's still in you. This is your time. This is your moment. Shake off the doubt. Shake off the negativity. You're at the right place. You're at the right time. Now all you've got to do is get in the right frame of mind. Lord, I believe this is my year to get healthy and whole. This is my year to meet the people of my dreams. This is my year to go further in my career, to step into a new level of my destiny. This is my year to accomplish dreams, to break free from this depression. This is my year to meet the right people. This is my year to get healthy and whole. This is your year to see double. This is your year for vindication, for restoration, for new beginnings. Now get your mind going in the right direction.
literally only standing right here in this spot because of the grace of God. Plenty of years I've always fought off the idea that if I give it to a higher power, then I could be blessed. Not knowing that I was only blessed because of the higher power. And everyone might, not be a Christian, or they might have their own religion or something else that they believe in. But at the end of the day, you still believe in something. Even if it's nothing, then that's still having a belief of something. And with the way things have gone so far, just within the 2 months of this year, I've learned that in order for me to truly reap the benefits of what God has planned for me, I have to surrender myself completely. I have to surrender my stress. I have to surrender my worries. I just have to surrender myself completely in order to reap whatever He has planned for me. Now, I'm just fortunate enough to have met certain people in life that guided me towards the light and towards the right direction. And there's been times where I fought it off, I neglected it, and I just decided to do my own thing. But as I stand here today, there's no more fighting it. Just worship, surrender, provision, forgiveness, and protection. I know that there's been plenty of times before where I've said that, I don't have any fears, or that I don't have any doubts. But really, I just said that out of blind faith. Because when you begin to become the person that you were destined to be, when you begin to see things that you were always destined to see, then you realize a lot of things get exposed in the light. A lot of my weaknesses, a lot of my bad habits, a lot of my bad traits were exposed this year. But I have a different level of faith. This faith comes from me studying my history and me reading the Bible, going to church, getting baptized. And that's my ancestors never lost faith. God never lost faith. Like, no matter any sin that I might have committed, any sin that I've done, anything I've done wrong, even if I got away from what He wanted me to do, He never gave up on me. So now I'm standing here today, ready to decimate those bad traits. I'm ready to have those bad things that I've done, and the bad thoughts, negative thoughts. Today is the day that they disappear. Today is the day that they no longer live in me. Today is the day that I move on. And this path that I've been on subconsciously, or doing it subconsciously, finally has direction. The light has been shined upon me, my soul, my heart, my mind. And it's time to make that next step. The right step. In the Bible it says to confess your sins to one another and pray to heal. It takes a lot to admit when you're wrong. It takes a lot to look into the face of someone that you've done wrong to and then hurt them with sins and hurt them with your actions. Now, forgiveness is not promised from anyone but God. As long as you honestly confess your sins, confess what you have done with humility and honesty, He will always forgive you. Now, it also says in the Bible that to love your enemy. When he is thirsty, provide him with drink. When he is hungry, provide him with food. That may be the case. That's what I'm choosing to live by. Now, I can't expect to be a recipient of that because not everyone may understand the way that God wants it to be. From me hurting the one person that I truly love and wanted to build a future with, to me leading on a bunch of people in my community to something that was gonna come at a certain time and it never did. I'm sorry if I ever gave false hope, if I ever made you feel confident one day and not so much confident the next day. I'm sorry if I ever told you that I loved you and left. I'm sorry if anything I said hurt you to this day. I'm sorry if my actions, anything that I've done, is something that you would never forget. I'm sorry if one of your last impressions of me is that I'm a bad guy, or you only remember me for hurting you. Now, like I said, I can't expect another human being to provide me with that acceptance or forgiveness. All I can do is pray that one day God would put a faithful word into their ear, into their soul, into their heart, into their mind, to understand where I'm coming from, and that they accept my repentance. What I plan on doing differently, I plan on going into a situation with faith first. I plan on to release my anger and to not thrive off of my anger. I plan on to keep my heart open and to not close it. I plan to keep my ears open and don't close those as well. I plan to orchestrate before I just do. Like I have a record label independently, and I could have done so much more for the two artists that I had, Pooh and STMKK. I could have done so much more for them. And I'm sorry to you guys if I led you astray. If you feel like I sold you a dream. I'm sorry to anyone in my community, to anyone who looked at DreamHouses and seen it for something that was supposed to be uplifting and inspiring, and I just did something totally different. Change is powerful, and it doesn't happen overnight. But in the Bible it says, you may go to sleep with bad intentions or bad emotions, but when you wake up, the sun will shine, and you will smile as well. Me doing these things differently is going to take me to where I've always wanted to be. Maybe not the way I envision it, but the way it needs to be. The number 148 has a lot of significance in it. There's a deep meaning behind it. On December 18th, 1865, slavery was abolished in the United States of America. Now, if you Google the meaning of the number 148, it will tell you that the abundance that you have worked so hard for And everything like you've been aiming for will soon be coming into your life. I say that to say, even though slavery ended, we fight to this day, and we fight hard. We fight for what we believe in. We fight for each other. And none of it will go in vain. And in the process of just learning about my history and just studying, even to me figuring out what the number 148 means, there's a big correlation to it. We will soon receive everything that we've been fighting for. We will soon receive everything that we've been seeking. The universe works in mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways. And none of this is it's a reason behind it. Like it may sound crazy, but there's a reason behind it. For me, this is my purpose. To learn and to teach. And to share. Share my heart, share my knowledge, share my wisdom, share my experiences. To uplift. To maintain. To set a foundation. Now I have to put the work in first and then share. But I can't do it the way I've been doing it before. The light that shines on me is the light that I'm going towards. So if you have a dream out there, or is there anything that you want to do in life, go for it. Study, learn from those who did it before you, apply the lessons, remain faithful, remain humble, remain honest, and you can have whatever it is that you seek. We have to do it. There's no contemplating. There's no putting it off until tomorrow. We have to do it. Our time is coming. Do it for you. Do it for your family. Do it for your ancestors. Because we are their wildest dreams. My name is Kenny Mclemore, the owner of DreamHouses. Thank you for watching.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. The purpose is to learn from them, understanding what went wrong, then grow from it. But if you do the same thing, then you're the cause of it. No one to blame, no one to point the finger to. If you want change, then it gotta start with you. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. I done made some mistakes, but I played them off cause I thought it might be fate. We call it life, it's bound to happen. Ain't no way to prepare for it. When it get tragic, you just gotta be there for 'em. Don't look the other way, don't you go astray. Cause when it comes around, you gon' feel away. Just some thoughts while I sit up at night. I think it might be time to take my own damn advice. Do yourself one thing. Go dream. Go and live your dream. One day, you'll see such a beautiful place. Do you believe? Believe. You ever been so mad at night at times you can't think? Looking at the mirror, water running from the sink. Way too much pride to cry, so you don't blink. That pain ain't going nowhere, it don't matter what you drink. Things ain't what they seem than what I'm really trying to say. Don't let them tell you nothing, you go out there and be great. I know just what I'm saying, and it might not fluctuate. Put that fear up in your heart, not good for mental space. Just meditate. This for the people who don't believe it, I know that evil. You fighting demons, but they don't see it, they so deceiving. They don't love you, they wanna judge you, they hate your freedom. When separated, they celebrate it, cause we can beat them. Man, it's really start with self. You gotta love you before you love somebody else. Learned a lot of lessons, but this one is top shelf. And it's deep inside your heart is where you gonna find your wealth.
We are here to be someone. We are here to get things done. We are here to help someone. We are here to be the one. We in this together. We in this together.
Forever.
We in this together.
Yeah.
We in this together.
I swear I'm sorry if I'm distant, but I gotta put in overtime work for this vision. And they see just when I'm on, I ain't never letting up. So I might have done some good, but I ain't done enough. You gotta love the grind, yeah, Kobe told me that. That 24 you giving, gotta push it to the max. You have to keep your focus, ain't no time for looking back. Gotta do it for the people that we lost and can't get back. If you still standing, then you strong. Gotta find your reason why you in this marathon. Don't think that it'll be easy, cause I swear this shit is hard. But you start to see it clearly once you treat it like a job. So I commend you if you attend to make a plan to do everything that they say you can do. If you need me, you can hit me. Clear my schedule, cause I can help you get through what I've been through.
We are here to be someone. We are here to get things done. We are here to help someone. We are here to be the one. We in this together. We in this together.
Forever.
We in this together.
Yeah.
We in this together. We are here to be someone. We are here to get things done. We are here to help someone. We are here to be the one. We in this together. We in this together.
Forever.
We in this together.